Welcome to Sunday Night S.I.P cards. S.I.P stands for Stamp, Ink, and Paper. Hello, my name is Michelle Carlson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Eagan, Minnesota. I'll be posting monthly videos to showcase products from either the current mini catalog or the current annual catalog from Stampin' Up! These projects are designed for the beginner and casual paper crafter in mind. I'll be making easy, simple projects that you can use any stamp set, ink, and paper colors to create your own projects. Today, I'll be using the Jars of Flowers stamp set, which is on page 95 in the 2022-2023 annual catalog. The Jars of Flowers stamp set has 9 photopolymer stamps, which are the see-through type stamps. These images can be reversed so that you can have a solid fill-in color. So you just flip the stamp over to add that solid image. Same with this cup and the straw. That is not what we're going to do today, but maybe in another video I should show that technique. Today I want to show you the masking technique using the new adhesive masks on page 149, and it's number 9. In this video I'm not going to show you step by step in making a card, but show you the beginning process of the masking technique and then the end results of a finished card. When looking at your images, you need to figure out what you would like in the forefront and then what you want in the background. So like flowers and leaves, leaves usually go behind the flowers. In this case, we want the jar as our main focal point, but we want the flowers, the tulips, be inside the jar versus on the outside of the jar. And so we're going to stamp the jar first. So I'm going to do 2 different examples, that's being one of them. And the other example is going to be the sunflowers, where we want the sunflowers outside of the jar a little bit. So we'll be doing it the opposite way. So hopefully this will make sense once I show you how to do this. So I just took a piece of basic white cardstock, and I'm using Memento ink. And I'm going to stamp first the jar. So we're going to stamp that up and stamp it on our paper. Now we're going to, here is the masking sheet, and as you can see there's a line. So on the back side it'll peel off, so then it'll be sticky to put on to your cardstock image. But we don't want to stamp on this side, we want to stamp on the reversal side of where it's not pulling apart. And then also stamp where the line is so that it's easy to pull apart. And now we're going to take our scissors and fussy cut this out. And this one's an easy image to cut out, so we want to cut out as close to the line as possible. We don't want to make a border or anything, because this is going to go right over our stamped image. And it doesn't matter if it's perfect. It's basically, we want the top of the jar to be where we want the tulips. So you don't need to do everything, cutting it out, just where you're going to be stamping, because we want the tulips inside the jar, and we want that top to be covered up but not overlapping, if that makes sense. So right to the edge of the jar up there. And it doesn't matter if it's covering down there, because the tulips aren't going to go that far. So just making sure this part is covered, but not overlapping, because you'll get a white line. And then we want to stamp our tulip and just kind of go over the jar a little bit. Stamp that there. And then once that's stamped, you can take this off and see the magic happen. Ooh, and this is really sticky, so just be careful. Okay, so see, I got a line there. I had this too far up. So let's try that again. You just flip that over. Let me stamp up the jar again. And it takes a little practice. Okay, so I want the jar not over the line, just up next to the line. So let's do that. So that's a little bit further down. And let's see how this goes. And just a little bit over, so it looks like it's going in the jar. And let's see the magic. And you can reuse these as many times as you want. Oops. Careful, it might rip a little bit if you rip it up too fast. So there you go. Now that's better. So the image looks like it's going inside the jar. And here is the finished product. So with Memento ink, you can use Stampin' Blends or Stampin' Write markers and color in your images. And then I used the Tea Boutique card base and then some gingham ribbon to put on the jar to fill up that space. So here's the beginning and then here's the end. So now this time we want to do the flowers first on our cardstock. And make sure you have plenty of room below. And we want to do the flowers on the mask because that's what we want to have standing out or in the forefront of the jar. So we're going to just stamp over the line. And then we just want to cut out just the bottom portion of the flowers. So just I know this is going to be a little bit more tricky because there's more ins and outs of it all, but with the leaves and the petals. So I'm going to finish fussy cutting this and then I will show you the rest. So I fussy cut just at the bottom of the mask because that's where the jar is going to be stamped. So I'm going to take this off, and you probably just only have to take off that portion of it, and then just line it up with your stamped image. There we go. And then stamp up your jar. And we just want it to just overlap a little bit so that the flowers are overlapping in the jar or over the jar. And then when we take this up, and be careful so it doesn't rip, your flowers are over the jar. So here's the finished card after I did the stamping, masking. I colored it in with Stampin' Blends. And then just cut this out with the deckled rectangles just to give that, it's a die, to give it kind of a different look than just straight like the other card. And then I wrap some twine around it and then add a brush butterfly. And this is the Tea Boutique base cards. So just another way to use those. Here's another card. I thought I'd make it more like Christmassy with the green and the red. And I used another Tea Boutique card base. And that's another stamp set in the jars of flowers. I have some other examples to share that used other stamp sets. This is a stamp set that I used with the Cheerful basket, and we used the heart stamp set and then put a mask over it and kept stamping. So then we get these different stamps. So here's the heart, and then there's the heart, and there's the heart, and there's the other heart. So I kind of stamped it 4 times across. I got this idea from Robin Meisenheimer from Pinterest. So thank you, Robin, for your wonderful idea. This one is from the True Beauty stamp set where I stamped the flower, and then I stamped the flower on a mask, cut it around the flower, and this is a little bit easier to cut around, and then stamped the leaves. And as you can see, I got it overlapped a little bit, so there's some white, but then here I did a little bit better job. But as it takes practice. This is kind of my practice card. And here's the True Beauty stamp set, which you can find on page 67. This other card has a ripping technique with the mask. So if you rip off like an inch from the mask, and this is a good way to use up, just kind of tear down like that. And it doesn't have to be even because we want it kind of uneven. You get this kind of technique. In this one I used the Forever Fern, which is you can find on page 73, and the ripping mask idea came from Rachel Tessman, and then the Forever Ferns idea came from Jackie Bolheis. But just kind of put those two together to make a nice greeting card. And the last one I'm going to show you is the same technique that I did with the Forever Ferns, but I used the Christmas season and used some greens with the leaves here in the stamp set, and then the dots for kind of like berries. So that was just another idea using the same technique. You will find the product list on my website, michellesstamping.com, and click on S.I.P cards. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any paper crafting supplies you may need. If you'd like the new 2022-2023 annual catalog or the new 2022 July to December mini catalog, and or to receive my newsletter, please email me at michellesstamping@gmail.com. All of these links are below under the video for your convenience. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so that you are notified when I post a new video. Also, comment in YouTube underneath my video or on my Facebook group, Michelle Stampers, by Friday, October 28th, and you'll be placed in a drawing, and I will announce the winner in my November 6th S.I.P video, and you'll receive a package of masking paper. The winner for the September 4th S.I.P cards is Kathy Davis, who will receive the Brush Metallic Adhesive Back Dots. Congratulations! Hope you enjoyed this project, and if you make a card, please feel free to add it to the comments underneath this video. I would love to see your cards and what your stamp set and paper you used. Thank you for watching, and happy stamping!